Let's hear from Joe in Virginia, Republican line for Aaron Reed. Good morning.
Good morning. I have a couple points. First off, you have little boys 2 years old. They think they're little girls. Little girls 3 years old think they're boys, and their parents condone and encourage this kind of behavior. And it's not right because a child's brain is not developed. Once they've reached of age, if they want to destroy their body and their mind, then okay, but when they're children, it should not be encouraged, condoned, and pushed on other people. And everybody knows a male has a male's DNA, a female has a female's DNA, so it is not fair for these males to be competing with females. Never has been, never will be. And you could call yourself whatever you want, but you're not fooling anyone. I'm an old white guy. If I were to say I'm a teenager female of color, I'm not fooling anyone. People are going to look and laugh.
That's Joe in Virginia.
Thank you very much, Joe, for your comments. So what I will say about that is that I'll start with the gender affirming care for transgender youth, because I think that this is actually something that we have not been able to cover, and it's important to cover. For transgender youth, for people under the age of 12 years old, gender affirming care is literally nothing but a haircut, a change of clothing, and a name. Whenever they do get to the age of 12 years old, then they may start puberty blockers, which can delay puberty for a few years until they are ready to start transition.
Conversation with Aaron Reed, independent journalist and transgender advocate. Joel up next in Spring, Texas, Democrats line. Hi.
Hi, Pedro. Loyal viewer since 1979. And this is a serious question for you, Pedro. Firstly, before I get to our guest, how did you come up with this guest today? Did she contact you, or you her, or how did this come up?
We reached out to her for this conversation.
That would be interesting to be able to find her. It would be like a eureka moment. I found it because, I'm well-read. I've never heard of her or this organization at all.
Well, Carly, you have an opportunity to talk to her now, so go ahead with your question or comment, please.
Yes. Promoting or validating transgenderism or gender dysphoria is not doing these people any favor. We got to just tell them the truth. Hey, come on. That if transgendered men and transgendered women want to compete against one another, that's great. We don't need them guys on the female swimming team that are failed male swimmers, and we don't need, and vice versa. This is crazy.
This is John. John on our independent line. He's in Wisconsin.
Yes, thanks for taking my call. The gentleman before the lady spoke very eloquently and said a lot of what I wanted to say. But the one thing I wanted to say is I consider myself very open-minded for the different sexual aspects. But for sports, I think they ought to do one test. They ought to do a blood test for chromosomes. XXs should be women and XYs should be men. For the rest, I've been to New Orleans. I've been all over. There are certain bars where the different, I can't say it all, LGBTQ or whatever, they all hang out, and I have nothing against that. And I certainly respect their rights. But in sports, I think they ought to do the test, XX or XY.
My issue is, why is it necessary to force this in the school system? Is it really necessary to have drag shows in elementary schools and push transgender movement in our school system? Let the kids be kids. That's up to the adults, the parents, to choose how they want to raise their children. An outside influence like this has no place in our school system, period. You're crossing the line when you do that. You just totally open. The question is, why is it necessary to be pushing this movement so intensely to our children?